We just talked about the internet disruptions and what the government is trying to do to make sure that subsequently we don't find ourselves in this situation and in this mess again. We're going to move on to talk about the economy, and the IMF MD is in town and has been in town, and she says here, curtail excessive expenditure to avert fiscal risk. Let me just quickly read a short bit of that story here on citinewsroom.com. The International Monetary Fund has cautioned Ghana regarding its fiscal challenges, emphasizing the need for restraint in spending. The IMF also advised the establishment of financial benchmarks, specifically a 55% net present value to GDP ratio and a cap of 18% on debt service as proportion of government revenues. Now, Kristalina Georgieva, the IMF's managing director, in an interview on Citi TV's The Point of View, also advocated for the creation of a fiscal council in Ghana. The council, she opined, would consist of independent individuals who would oppose unnecessary expenditure in the country when necessary. Paul, let me come to you on this one.
Yes, Gregory.
Yeah.
Thank you. You see, who is supposed to be a check on our government?
Parliament.
Thank you. So, why is Parliament, not able to check the executive and allowing the executive to go on with this excess spending? That spending spree they seem to be on, now. Are you going to answer me?
Oh, I have an answer for you.
Go ahead.
No, because we won't amend the constitution based on the recommendations that have been given, and we are still doing this whole thing of majority of ministers taking from Parliament. And if we continue down this road, this is what's going to happen. So then, instead of Parliament being totally independent of the executive, we have people who want to be seen by the president and so must play ball.
Well, Bretton Woods institutions are never, and I repeat, are never going to work in the interest of Africa and, for that matter, Ghana.
But they are profit-making institutions.
I agree.
They are businesses, all.
Of course.
That's what a lot of people don't know.
So when they come in and they prefer solutions for you, don't think that this solution is tailored, in your interest. Okay. It is something they have thought about, and it is something that will inure to their benefit in the long run, and not you. So when they come in and then they tell us to set up a fiscal council, I am diametrically opposed to that.
Why?
I'm saying this because...
Sounds like a good idea.
No. That duty is...
already there in the Parliament.
Parliament's in fact, first and foremost responsibility to the state and to their constituents. And so if Parliament is shirking in its duties and is not able to be that watchdog or play that watchdog role it is supposed to play, then we have to hold Parliament also accountable. All right? You do not allow the executive to have its day and unnecessarily overspend. Look at our current debt to GDP now. The last time I checked, it was somewhere around 90 to 10. So what are you going to do with the 10%? You are using 90% of your revenues to service debt. 10% is woefully inadequate to do virtually anything tangible in the country. Yeah. And so if we allow the executive to continue the way it is doing, then really there's no future for Ghana. So I am still on Parliament to set up, put the executive to check. The issue of scratch my back, I scratch your back must end at some point. The executive presents a budget at the request of parliamentarians, quote and unquote, we want our welfare to be so and so. If the executive agrees, then perhaps we should also pass their budget.
Yeah.
But where the executive is also, kind of not agreeing to their terms, that is where sometimes you find that challenge, that kind of ball they play with us. So again, I am still going to hold Parliament to account to make sure it watches over the executive. The executive is saying that they are going to be fiscal discipline, especially in this election year. We are all watching closely and making sure that it is not one of those rhetorics that they actually leave their word.
Yeah.
All right. So this time it is not going to be the everyday routine that we've been seeing. Mr. President, you have assured us that you are going to be fiscally prudent, especially in this election year. We are all watching with keen eyes and with eagle eyes. And at the end of the day, yes. Yes, at the end of the day, if Parliament is not able to hold you accountable, we the citizens are going to hold you accountable and hold you to your word.
All right.
He sounded like Oman Penin TME.
But it has to be done at some point. You understand?
Yeah.
How long are we going to continue? Look at the size of government now.
It's not sustainable.
All right?
What we're doing.
Even the presidency. Look at the expenditure of the presidency.
But the man is not ready to listen.
Boy.
Do you know why he's not ready to listen?
Why?
The man is too generous.
Generous?
Yeah, wait. He's too generous. To a point where, listen, this is a man who started contesting elections since 90-something.
Yes.
Okay? He's made compromises. He's traded horses. He's traded this, traded that. He's gotten money. He sold private family properties. We all know that. These are things that have been documented. Hotels have gone, landed properties have gone, and other things. So you think that the man will come, and every day when you shout that, please remove that person, he will remove the person. He won't. He won't because he's indebted. That is where we are. Wow. And the backstory is this, that listen, he's a man where even if the thing is in his mouth, he will remove it and give it to you. That would be a jikudi. Do you understand? And so he has difficulty in cutting down the size of government. We have ministers who spend 8 years in office.
Yeah.
I
was going to say that. But we all had this, or at least I did, and maybe I was fooled into it, But I had this impression of Nana Akufo-Addo as being a very hard guy.
He's not. He's not a hard guy.
Who is very fair.
He's not a hard
it's like
guy.
if
He's not a hard guy.
this is the right thing to do, we will do it.
Yes.
I had that impression.
No, he's not a hard guy. No, you should know him.
That's what I thought I knew.
There are people who are
him.
able to read personalities.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And they can tell you that, under this circumstance, he will do this, he will do that, he will do that, he will do that, he will do that. Akufo-Addo was, let's say, quote unquote, a small boy of this Kojo Chikata.
Wow.
Okay. They were friends to Jerry Rollins.
Okay.
Nyaho Tameklo, Jacobe Chebilamte, Walter Deku, and all these guys. Do you understand?
Okay.
So, there's crossbreed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They know exactly what these guys are doing. The man in his first, in his acceptance speech, what did he listed some,
some thank yous.
Yeah, some thank yous to Jerry Rollins. There's a whole story behind all that.
I remember.
Do you understand?
I remember.
That means, he's being. that
honestly,
is gratitude.
I've honestly not watched that part of him being soft. Honestly.
Yeah? Oh, he's a soft guy.
He's
a soft guy. He could have mood swings. He has mood swings, but it depends on the day. If it's if the day is good, Nana is very forgiving.
On a more serious note, I've always seen the president to be a very strong.
Let me tell you a personal story. There was a day he did meet the press.
Okay.
So I was invited by Eugene. Then along the line, Eugene, that was my first contact with Eugene. Then, you are Larry. Larry, the president must know you are here. Before I could say Jack, Eugene had pulled me before the president. The man was chewing something. Then all Eugene said was that, Mr. President, meet your friend, Larry Dogbe.
Yeah.
Then the man dropped the food on the table, wipe his hands, said, "Oh, Larry, you are the one. I know who produces the Herald." I said, "Yes, sir." Then he turned to Eugene. Eugene, make sure he comes to see me the next day. The next morning, Eugene was on phone.
Yeah.
Larry, the president is waiting for you. And I said, Eugene, you think I'll walk into that meeting? You think I'll walk into that meeting? I beg you, I can't. Okay. But
But what were you afraid of?
I don't know.
Maybe it's personal. Maybe you can't say it on air, but you should understand him.
Okay.
No, I wasn't afraid of poison then.
But now you're afraid of poison.
I wasn't afraid of poison. I mean, that's on the lighter side. But, so I think that inherently, sometimes we need to understand why people do the things they do. Okay? Listen, Akufo-Addo's presidency has tested our democracy, our institutions, our individuals, and many other things. A while ago, I mean, last week we reported about how Parliament sends this bill, the LGBT thing, to the presidency. And everybody has been told that, listen, do not accept that bill. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is one. Then the death penalty. That also hasn't been assented to. Then also the anti-witchcraft, that is also, waiting. So you won't do the thing as a government.
Yeah.
And when a private member does it, and Parliament debates it, they spend hours. These are people who are paid. When they sit, sometimes they get allowances. Some of these things, I mean, they spend time in hotels and other things to debate this thing before it's even, presented to the whole house for debate. Everybody's interest is whipped up to believe that something is going to happen. The president himself walks to many other international forums to talk about it. Yeah. And when the bill is submitted, just assent, then, it's going to bloat, there's going to put a bedding on our budget, so and so. He has tested our democracy to a certain degree. Today's news, or yesterday, Bedier issued a statement saying that, listen, Parliament shouldn't bring the bill to the presidency for
he has the
you have it.
It's actually here.
Yes.
So, I mean, you want to read it?
Oh, no, I mean, you are good at that. So then,
Yeah, so the statement is actually here. It says transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. And it's signed by Nana Bedier Asante, Secretary to the President. It has come to the attention of this office that while the President and other senior officials of the presidency were at Peduase for a cabinet retreat on Thursday, 14th of March 2024, you attempted to submit the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, in brackets the bill, to Jubilee House for the President to signify his assent or otherwise to the bill. This office is aware of two pending applications for an order of interlocutory injunction, both filed on 7th of March in the Supreme Court in Dr. Amanda Odoi versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General and Richard Sky versus the Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General respectively, to restrain you and the Parliament from transmitting the bill to the President and also to restrain the President from signifying his assent to the bill, pending the final determination of the matter. The Attorney General has, by this letter dated 18th of March 2024, informed the President that he has been duly served with both applications and has advised the President not to take any step in relation to the bill until matters raised by the suits are determined by the Supreme Court. It is the understanding of this office that both applications have also been duly served on Parliament. Therefore, it will be improper for you to transmit the bill to the President and equally improper for this office to receive the bill until the Supreme Court determines the matter raised in the suits. Indeed, it is settled law that during the pendency of an interlocutory injunction application, the status quo ante ought to be preserved, and no action should be taken that would result in prejudicing the injunctive relief sought and undermining the authority of the court. In the circumstances, you are kindly requested to cease and desist from transmitting the bill to the president until the matters before the court are resolved. Okay, and it's addressed to the clerk. It says clerk to Parliament House. Yeah.
Last Friday we did a story. I think where we talked about how the officers of Parliament submit these bills, and then they've been told never to bring it there again. Okay, and then officers have been warned not to accept the bill. Yeah. So this story just goes to confirm what we had reported last week, that this is what is happening over there. Okay. But you see, as I said, it's a test of our democracy.
Right.
It is. Parliament, I mean, there are supposed to be, rules governing some of these things. If the bill is submitted, you have a certain number of days for you to assent to it. Yeah. If you refuse to assent to it, this is the house of the people. Yeah. That is where governance is supposed to be. Okay, so if you refuse to, certain things are triggered and so on. You can't go and be hiding behind the court. Yeah. The legal minds have come to say that, listen, it is when even the president assents the bill, then the court can now have a proper jurisdiction over it.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
Okay, yes. And so all these things
because until it is law, the Supreme Court can't deal with it in a certain sense.
Yes. For me, I mean, somebody could safely ask, what is it that you have told the court such that you are so confident that, I mean, hey, let the traffic be there. Don't come to me. Yeah. Because in any case, they can submit this thing, you can accept it and refuse to assent to it. Like the way you've done with the witchcraft.
And you didn't tell your parliament your reasons for not assenting.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. If you have misgivings, if you have issues with the bill.
Okay.
Come on.
So he's tested our democracy, he's tested our institutions, he's tested our individual resolves and so on. And so we are just there in a quagmire. He talked about how, what Parliament is doing. Parliament has done certain things, okay, but this is where what the presidency is saying. We also know about how the failures of Parliament, the games that they play, okay, the scratch my back, I scratch your back, things that happen before vetting, and then after vetting, okay, things that are shared. Information and beyond, and many other things, deals. Listen, it's a
mess. All right, let's please make progress.
So we won't get anything from people whose minds are made up.
Parliament does have the alternative option of going ahead, like you said,
people
to trigger.
Thought. Listen, we all had some hopes that after the election of Bagbin as a speaker from the opposition was going to be a very, this is going to build or make our democracy better. But if you had a presidency where, the secretary is writing to Parliament in this strong language,
not to send the bill,
warning them not to send,
because there is a pending
lawsuit somewhere.
But he can do that. But Parliament can decide to go and do its own thing as well.
But you don't even have to get here. Listen, do you know Parliament can sanction this guy?
Oh, of course.
In any serious democracy, you can't do this in UK and go scot-free. Yeah. It's scandalous.
UK Parliament is much stronger.
It's supreme. But then, how come we are not supreme? Because the presidency is supreme.
We like blending.
We are blending.
We are blending.
Fruit salad.
Oh, blending. Yes. All right, let's talk about
but the fiscal thing that the IMF talked about, I'm not sure they are serious about it.
Why not?
Oh, no. I mean, if they were serious, they would even have mentioned to us that, listen, cut down the number of your ministers. If you don't cut it now, we are not giving you this amount of money.
I already told you about this.
Do you get it?
Forget about British institutions. Let's
These are profit-making people. So they are managing their business interests. Say that, listen, if you don't cut the number of your ministers or so and so, we are not giving you this money. And it ends there. And let's see what the presidency will do. But this is so form another council. and then we'll be paying them.
Money making, another money.
They'll make recommendations that they won't take.
Exactly
You sack
why
a
I
minister,
said
you sack your finance
diametrically
minister
opposed
and create
together.
another one. So you have an
Another
offshore
position for
one
them.
and an onshore one.
Maybe-
Onshore finance minister and
we have,
offshore
we have
finance
Agenda
minister.
111 to discuss.
Maybe he will head the new fiscal council.
Nyawaye.
And,
No, I'm really
and who is
It's
going
possible.
to set it
I heard
up?
there's a gospel song that talks Nyawaye.
It's not going
Do you
to
know
happen,
what?
so
Do you know
let's
what?
go on.